All right. Hi, Maggie. It's
Hi.
nice to see you here today. This is Sarah. I'm Sarah Cavell, and I'm here with EI Focus. We are talking today about emotional intelligence in sports. And thanks so much for taking the time out.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
I'd like to introduce you to our audience. This is Maggie Steffens. She is considered one of the best water polo players in the world. She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, MVP. She's a graduate of Stanford University, and she's also the founder of 6'8 Sports. So Maggie, I'd love to just start out just by simply asking you, as an athlete, how do your emotions affect your performance?
Oh, a ton. I think, emotions are going to come and go like waves, and sometimes you don't really have the control over them. I even think about before a game, you're going to get nervous, you're going to get excited, maybe you're going to get stressed that you're unprepared, or maybe you're going to be too confident, right? So they're going to come and go, and it totally affects your game the way that you handle them, right? So if I'm nervous and then I get too nervous and I take it down a negative path, I'm going to be stiff all game. I'm going to be overthinking all of my decisions, and I'm not going to be at my best. But if I'm nervous and I recognize it and I can put it towards a positive direction into almost like a focus or intention, then I'm going to be a bit more free. I'm going to be a bit more confident, but I'll use that nervousness to be a bit more alert. So totally affects your game. And I think it's important to know yourself and know that it's a part of life. I mean, like I said, that
Right.
we're going to be emotional, but we can kind of choose how we want to let those carry us.
So when you talk about, many athletes get nervous, like no matter how much you've trained or prepared, you still get like those butterflies. I know I do. And that for me actually is a sign that, okay, I'm nervous. What about you? What are some ways that you recognize these different emotions in your own self?
Yeah, definitely the butterfly feeling, or like my foot twitching, or just being really antsy. Those for me are feelings of nervousness, and even like a feeling of tightness.
Mm,
So I think if I can recognize those and know that it's okay to be nervous, that just means I care, right? And know that, look at my preparation, have confidence in what I've done to that moment. I can
mhm.
try to relax those nerves a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's okay to have some. It gives you energy as well. So I definitely feel it: butterflies, tightness, maybe little twitches here and there because I'm antsy. So I would say
Hmm.
those mainly.
Do you have any, I'm hearing you say that when you notice these things about yourself feeling nervous at, um, kind of looking back into the preparation you've done, so look into some of the
Yeah.
positives. Are there any other kind of tricks or tools that you use? Any types of, I don't know, breathing exercises or anything to kind of calm yourself?
Yeah, so I definitely look at my preparation, and that helps me. So even going in my head, going over things that I know for sure. So if we're playing a certain team, can I go over our scouting report? Can I go over things that I want to do in a game? So I can kind of put those nerves into action
Yeah.
instead of just letting them sit. So sometimes I use that to almost dial in, and focus on maybe positive actions I can make in a game, or remembering things about the team we're about to play, or plays that we have to do. So how can I put those nerves into positive action? Definitely breathing. So just calming down your breath and
Yeah.
getting in tune with your body, it has been really helpful for me, especially if we're on like a long bus ride. I like to listen to happy music. So I don't listen to anything like too intense or too mellow. I just like a good rhythm. And I think for me, if I'm nervous, it helps me get into myself a good rhythm. So that's another way. And then I'm lucky to be on a team. So for me, I definitely use my teammates, being able to connect with them and laugh with them, dance with them, whatever it may be. Just something to feel connected and supported can
Yeah.
help with those nerves as well.
What so you just mentioned a couple ways that you connect with your teammates. What, like, describe what that might look like, when you're dancing with your teammates? When does that come up? What are
Yeah.
some other fun activities you guys do to connect?
Yeah, for sure. So before a game, for example, everyone has their own way of handling pressure or handling a
Yeah,
game situation. And so with somebody who's really serious and doesn't like to, get too far out of game mode, our interaction, our connection might be like an intense high five or even like a handshake or something where we're physically connecting and emotionally connecting, but it's in line with what works for her, right?
right.
Versus somebody else who, for them, they want to dance and have a dance party and sing. And so, can I connect with her on that level? So, can I join that dance party for a little bit, laugh, have a good time, be in her world for a little bit so that we can connect? Another person might want to talk. So,
Yeah,
that might be no physical touch, like nothing too on the dance happy side, nothing too on the serious side, but want to talk strategy or just talk
right.
about life. And so, can I connect with them in that level? So, there's lots of things that you can do. But I think what's important is try to know your teammates and know what's important to them, as well as
Yeah,
know what's important to yourself, and try
yeah.
to connect with them in that sort of way.
Yeah, so really getting to know your teammates. So you, like you said, to know what gets them fired up and what doesn't, because it makes it, we're all different. We're all wired differently.
Yeah.
What, for you, what is it? What do you do pregame? Are you the dancer? Are you the serious high fiver? Are you,
I'm everywhere. I'm all in
yeah,
between. Yeah, I definitely earlier on I like to be a bit more serious so I can like think about the other team and focus on how I want to play and remember my preparation, kind of like I talked about earlier. And then
yeah,
later on, once we're at the pool and I'm working with my teammates, I like to listen to good music and
yeah.
laugh with them, and that helps me feel connected. So that when I jump into the pool, it's already there.
Hmm. Hmm. With all the distractions that we have around us, we've got technology, we've got friends, we've
Yeah.
got world health issues, all sorts of stuff, school, work. How do you stay present and focused?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different tools that you can use, and everyone's different. So I think it's important to try lots of different ones. And if you
Mhm.
don't know what yours is to help you stay present, listen to what I do, listen to what somebody else does, and try it. If it doesn't work, that's fine. That's kind of how I've figured out my path, and I'm still figuring it out because
Yeah.
as I get older, I also change. And
Hmm.
so staying present might look different than it was
Right.
when I was 18. So, now, for example, I'll focus, like I mentioned, just staying focused on the ball or picking an object that can kind of bring me back to what's important. So if I start thinking
Mhm.
about other things, can I focus on the cage or a teammate or a ball, like an actual object? Of
Mhm.
course, there's always refocusing on your breath. And that's why I love being in the water is you can kind of go underwater and let go of the outside noise and just try to go inward for a second and just
Yeah.
breathe. And that's a good kind of reset button.
Mhm.
And then just kind of remember your purpose. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? And
Mhm.
that for me is a good trigger to come back to the present moment.
Nice. Yeah, I love that image of just going underwater where it's so quiet and then it's
Yeah,
like
it's great.
literally distractions are gone. I'd love to hear, like, when you think of a coach that was really, you probably had a lot of coaches throughout your life and a lot of amazing coaches. And I would love to hear from you, like, what for you makes for a great coach? Like, when you bring this coach into your mind, what was the thing
Yeah.
that made you feel that way?
I think a great coach is someone that you respect and that they also respect you. And not in a sense of, of course, like you may have 30 years difference or 20 years of, they might have 20 years of experience on you, right? So they might not respect you in that sort of sense, which is
Yeah.
fine, but respecting your process and
Hmm.
respecting who you are as a person, I think is a really important thing to me for coaches to have for their athletes. And also for you to feel as an athlete that you can trust them, you can respect them. And like, there's this, they don't need to be your best friend. They don't need to be, the perfect person, but they're someone that you can trust and respect. So that to me is really important. And I think too, somebody who can challenge you and sees your potential and is willing to put the effort in to challenge you and support you. So can they have the belief in you? Can they support you while challenging you? Not too much great, 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 right? And not too much you're awful, right? But trying to find the nice mixture for each person, because it's different, of how can I get you to where you want to be with the right amount of support and the right amount of challenge. And I think that's so important. So a coach that can find that level for each different athlete is great. And then I would just say lastly, someone who knows how to have fun and can remind you that, sport is a fun game, and to kind of, when things get too serious or you're too nervous or there's too much pressure, kind of putting you back in a place of, okay, this is sport, this is fun, let's play. And I think the coaches that have that good perspective can prepare you for high pressure, can prepare you for the biggest moments, but also can remind you, that it's a fun sport as well, is really great.
Right. So there's this balance between the game and also like, this is real, this is really important to you. And so they get that about you.
Right.
Yeah. What would you say as an athlete, like, is your secret weapon?
I mean, the first thing to me that comes to mind are just my teammates, and like, which isn't necessarily my secret weapon. But to me, that was just the first thing that comes to mind, because if I didn't have my teammates, I wouldn't be able to do really anything, or wouldn't be able to reach my dream. And so knowing that I have incredible teammates that I myself trust and respect and love is kind of my superpower, right? Because even when I feel doubt, when I'm, nervous, or when I don't think I can do something, when I'm too tight, I can think about my teammates, know that we're together, know that I'm stronger together, fight for them. And that can kind of be my superpower in a sense. So that's one. And then of course there's other things, like just being able to be present and have a will to get something done, right? Those are all things that you can kind of figure out for yourself internally. But my first response would probably be my teammates.
Nice. And I guess as we kind of wrap up our time together, I'm curious, like, what would you say, what motivates you? I mean, for instance, like, the Olympics were put off for a year, and that's tough. It's so hard to keep up the training and the motivation. What keeps you in the game?
I love to strive for greatness, and I'm not shy to say that. And I want to do that in all aspects of my life, not just as an athlete, but as a person, as a businesswoman, as a student, as a friend. And that's something that really motivates me to not be shy to strive for greatness. And I would say too, like I mentioned earlier, I'm on a team, and this isn't just my dream. This is our dream as a team. And something that's really motivating to me is helping other people's dreams come to fruition. And so, if I can be a part of that journey, that's something that I love. So I would say definitely part of both of those for sure.
Yes. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I really appreciate it, and wish you all the best as you go big for big goals and big dreams.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.